Are you as excited as I am? Welcome to Gem Collectors with Shawn. I am Shawn. You haven't seen me for 4 weeks, and you won't see me again for another 4 weeks. We have 4 shows left, one each month, counting down to the end of the year. So, you know what? That means they're going to be supercharged shows. You're going to see less talk from Shawn and more walking the line of inventory that you've never seen. In today's show, remember months ago, how I was baiting you and saying I had some amazing items that you might be seeing coming up? And there was always a might there because you never know how these things may turn out. But it has turned out to the benefit for all of you, because in today's show, I am getting to feature for the first time what I am calling and referencing, and what the estate is referencing as, the Founder's Passion Collection, meaning Frank Cercelli. Frank Cercelli, the founder of Gem Shopping Network about 28 years ago, ended up taking the company 24/7, ended up growing it to be what it became, later sold it, and then after that, he got to enjoy so many things that he couldn't when he was tied down to running Gem Shopping. And one of those things was the same passion he held before he ever started the network, which ran pretty much in line with my passion and why I could relate. And when I talked to him, boy, it was just chatter back and forth, because gems, of course he loved gems, but what comes before a gemstone is a rough crystal, is a mineral specimen, is something out of the ground. I didn't realize that he not only had such a passion for mineral specimens, but a huge passion for fossils as well. And being the fortunate one, which I feel is hallowed ground, I was chosen by the estate to catalog, curate, and help, I guess, sell his magnificent treasures. Now, the family wanted to keep, rightfully so, some amazing items that the inheritors grew up with and were familiar with. Those, maybe sometime in the future you'll get to see, but in the meantime, there is plenty of the Founder's Passion Collection that you are going to get the first opportunity of anyone in any show to get in on crystal specimens. Now, you might have seen and gotten the opportunity, I'm sure, as a matter of fact, I know you have, to buy some of the stunning gemstones from Frank's Founder's Collection, but not in the mineral and the specimen department, which truly was his original and his mind passion. It all starts there, right? As a rock hound. And in the next 4 shows, I am going to give you a little trip around the world via Frank Cercelli, an incredible person whose shoes are hard to fill and left a wake everywhere he went. And to really appreciate him is to know him. And, you know, Raven, they got along great because animals. He had a wonderful dog he'd bring here, and of course, she, a true, you know, all the strays in our neighborhood, they just find her house because they find her. They know where they can get a meal. And so Frank was very much into rescue pets and along the way. So he touched the Mother Earth in many different ways. And in today's show, so I'm not gonna talk too long about the wonderful founder of this network, because I want to show the items that will speak for him. And starting off today's show, the first item is, you're going to be mind blown, is from a collection that, as best as I can date, from prior from the early 2000s. It is from the original, the very first Sweet Home Mine rhodochrosites. Now, to give you just a quick, brief history of the Sweet Home Mine. In the 1870s, it was first established, and I used to live in Colorado. I used to live in Denver, as a matter of fact, and of course, made many, many prospecting trips, and would go right by where the Sweet Home Mine is. It's a mountain, and it's easy to kind of view. It started as a silver, lead, gold combination metals mine. This is in the 1870s, sporadically mined off and on. By 1966, pretty much the owners had pretty much given up on it being anything major. The silver they found was minimal. In 1966, though, they did find the Alma Queen. That is that museum quality and famous big platter with large rhodochrosite crystals on it that you can see and look up in the museum. Even after that, it was only mined sporadically, off and on, never with enough money invested in it. In 1991, a group of very dedicated miners bought the mine and invested money into it to where, ventilation, important things like that, and strictly mined it for specimens. They went after the rhodochrosites. And in doing that, from 1991, in the mid-90s, they hit many decent pockets. And it was a period where they would name the pockets that they would find. So one of the most famous one that you're going to get to see some specimens from today is the Hedgehog Pocket, found in September of 1996. If you can, there's books been written, extensive things written on it, and so you can follow and look exactly the engineer's layout of the mine, the adits, the tunnels, all the different names, and where everything was in the Sweet Home Mine. So that mine, it was, famous for many years, but every mine runs out, so to speak, that there's not an endless vein. So by 2004, the mine to the Sweet Home Mine was permanently sealed shut. And my understanding is, because I know what sealed shut mean in the mine, I've gotten around some of those that weren't marked. So they concreted it. No one was getting in it. So that didn't stop them from furthering their investigations into the geology. And by 2016, they opened up another mine called the Detroit City Mine, named after the home city of the primary investors, or Detroit City Portal, it's often referred to as well. It has nothing to do with the Sweet Home Mine. It's about 200 feet further up the mountain, and that was mined from 2000. It started in 2016. They started pulling specimens out by 2018, and only in 2024 was that mine now closed. Now, there is no more Sweet Home or Detroit City or basically Alma, Colorado rhodochrosites coming out. The ones you're going to see are all historic. They have labels to them as to where they were found, and they are priced well below the current market. And that is the gift of the founder back to all of you who have supported gem shopping then, now, and into the future. It is a true gift back to you to have a old estate of specimens come available like this that I can offer you. And in the primary description on the label, it will say Founder's Passion Collection. So you will know, and the world will know exactly where that specimen came from. And it's all the provenance, just like a antique piece of furniture, matters. And these are well documented, and let's have some fun. Let's go to the first item. It is a stunning rhodochrosite. And look at that, look at that. This is what, why this, the name they gave this well-known, some of the well-known pockets had to do with something that relates to the piece. Now, this is interesting because this, and you can imagine, came from a pocket called the empty pocket. Now let me explain to you what that is probably referencing. Here is a label that you get to, comes with it, and the tetrahedrite stope also gives you additional information when you want to look it up on the engineer's map. You can follow and find exactly where the empty pocket it was located relative to the rest of the mine. Now, the matter of fact to the mining, and as a prospector myself, I get, I hear about other people's discoveries, and you can't help but to get the gold fever or gold envy. And it can occur with other people finding, wonderful pieces, and you always want to find the same. But let me tell you how much work it took to find the specimens you're seeing. Of 90% of the pockets that the consortium would come across, and remember, they couldn't blast because they could blow up and not know what they were blasting into, so they had to drill, use often fiber optics to look into the pockets. 90% of the pockets were empty. 90% of the effort, because it slows down when the drill hits this soft area. You can tell, they could tell when you hit a void, and then everything would shut down, and 90% of the time it would be for nothing. So imagine that. There were probably a lot of pockets. They could call it empty pockets. This was probably one or two pieces that came out of what was known as the empty pocket. This is a remarkable, high quality piece. You can see the quartz crystals just piercing through the rhombohedrals, the rhombohedron crystals, and I just have the goop there to rest it. Look at that, because I don't like goop in general. It's difficult to get out, but it does help prop these up. Look at this. You can see the size in my hand and that incredible long prismatic quartz crystal. This has all the color that you want in a fine specimen like this. I have this priced at a fraction of the market, and like I said, this is a gift back from the founder to all of you. Making that incredible piece, look at that, about half of what the market price on it would be, especially with those quartz crystals like that, and knowing it's from the location that it is. Make this one only, and you're gonna love it, only $388. $388, and I have price ranges in every range, so there'll be something for everybody if that one is not in your price range. All right, let me put that one up safely. I'll be right back with many more. Take a look. This is some of the classic, most desirable color in the sweet home material that you could want. Look at the beautiful additional quartz crystals there, and there is also some sphalerite as well. This is another beautiful piece with a label and the stand. This is from Graham's Pocket and the fluorite rays. So a rays or a stope is a particular additional vein or veinlet that the miners are following. If they hit a pocket along that stope, then that's how it gets the two names. You have Graham's Pocket and along the fluorite stope. That'll be in the additional description on the label for you. And you see that also. Look at this piece. Look at how large those crystals are. And in the world, basically, of fluorite, you can see this fluorite back there. And oftentimes, you can look and find little fluorite crystals. I'll leave that up to all of you for discovery. So in many cases, this quality is referred to as a facet grade quality. You can see, look at the translucency to it. Absolutely, you could facet stones out of portions of these crystals, or, you know, if you're willing to accept some more inclusions, even larger portions of them. This is beautiful. It will display wonderfully if you want to use some goop to do it the way you want it to look. That would, that would not be harmful at all. Just a little bit of goop goes a long way. This one at 40 carats, and yes, something like this is measured in carats. Make this one that size a opportunity price of only $288. $288 on that, and that I want all of you to run to the internet and run to your favorite crystal site that might have something else similar and compare. This has a carat weight. Also, you can call in and they will give you the millimeters. We have all that information with you. It just wouldn't fit on the tag and it would take longer to put up there. I want to get to as many pieces as possible. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit along the way. So we're gonna start with some of these amazing rhodochrosites and then we'll come back to them in a bit. Let's look at another. Item 128, 7225, 128, 7225. I am going to rock your world with this one. Let me just put it next to that one for a moment so you can get an idea of comparison. Look at that beauty. Look at that rhombohedral formation. Same kind of formation, we'll take that away so you don't get confused, that calcite will have. Now, that being said, this has incredibly strong double refraction. In other words, when you look into it, you're going to see everything from the flaws looking doubled to the inclusions can look doubled. It's a great lesson, and it's also what was used a long time ago for navigation in what was referred to as Icelandic spar. They both had that rhombohedral crystal formation. This one, hold on, this label, here you go, goes with that one. Now, this is from what is known as the 4-ball pocket. Now, I wouldn't know why it was named that, but on the fluorite rays, that makes sense. Look at the fluorite crystal with this. Look at the fluorite crystal right there. And how beautiful is that? Now, this has been hot glued, which I also am not a fan of, but by actually removing some of these, I realized that if you're really careful, that you can pop them off of the hot glue. And I would recommend just using, because, you know, there would be a chance in certain circumstances for you to pull off some material in that. I am not a fan of hot glue or goop, but goop would be preferable, just letting you know. So I didn't pull it off that hot glue. It's easy to do without any damage. So if you want to do that, you can. Now, looking at this, let me show you those crystals that you see at the bottom. They make that a wee bit more special because you have other minerals such as tetrahedrite and chalcopyrite and pyrite that can be found. These look like they are tetrahedrites with the triangle formations there. Oftentimes they will be part of the interior of the crystal as of the rhodochrosite as well. This is a fantastically large specimen. Look at that. And just a real beauty. And it's 24, so 1 inch basically in one direction by 16 by 17. It was mined in 98 and has the base and the label with the information on it. Price on this one, exceptional, exceptional. You're talking about really close, coming in at close to half of what you would normally find these. An inch long crystal of that kind of quality and clarity with the fluorite, only $438. $438 with the provenance. And let me tell you, the number of items that came out of the 4-ball pocket, grams pocket, and the empty pocket were very limited. So that adds a great deal of rarity to the piece. Okay, now, one more before we get to some other items. Then we're going to come back and I'm going to feature items from the hedgehog pocket. But first, since I love this specimen and love the name of the pocket, it's item 1287025. 1287025. Now, let me show this one compared to that one for a moment, just so you get to see relative differences. Everything from color to size. Wow, that is a stunner right there. So we'll move that one out of the way and look at the name of this one. This is, oh, wrong label. See how easy I can mix them up, but I know which one goes to which. Strawberry pocket from the fluorite rays. So you're talking about the same rays, in other words, the same vein or stope that they were following, and they hit another pocket, and most likely most of the rhodochrosites would have had a more of a strawberry look, very similar to this. Look at the formation of these. Look at how perfect these rhombohedral crystals are. And wow, that is a magnificent and aesthetically attractive specimen as you can really hope for. Look at those. Look at those in excellent shape, and look at how large they are overall. So that's just on some goop. Yeah, goop, which could easily come off, but that's a big specimen. Let me give you the dimensions on that. So it is 32 by 20 by 18. So at 32 millimeters long, that's why it's almost as long as the base is right there. So now, important things for you to always remember and lock in your brain. 25.4 millimeters to an inch. Remember that. If you can't remember the 0.4 part, then just round it to 25. Basically 25 millimeters to an inch. And that will help you in a long way when I give you things in millimeters, so you, if you can translate it to inches for a better idea of size, then that's what you need to know to do it. So this also, this is another one that came from the famous pockets that were discovered in the 1990s. So remember, they took over the mine in 1991. By the mid-1990s, they were hitting pockets, and they were naming them. They were so excited, they were naming the pockets. So this one, this may be one of the finest of them all. Of course, you don't judge it by the price, because the price is so far below the market. Yeah. Yeah, this if you want to grab one of the finest ones for a fraction of the value, here it is for you. It's only $548. $548, and you will be hard pressed to find. And look at that. Anything even close to that kind of value, especially when the provenance is known. I went online. I looked at how some of these are being advertised. You know what? Very little information. Now, here's the thing you have to remember. Remember, all these are not from the Detroit City mine. Now, they call it the Detroit City claim overall, so don't get confused with that. you have to be able to see where it says Sweet Home Mine. And the Sweet Home Mine tells you it's from the original mine. It's where the best material always, see this on the bottom? Sweet Home Mine. Other than that, it would say Detroit City Mine. And the older material is the most desirable. It's also really the best quality material, and always was. Now, my further notes on this piece do include the fact that there is facet grade material here. And, you know, it doesn't take a big stone in rhodochrosite to be able to far exceed the value of a specimen. So with that note, I have, it is in, it'll be in the full description on the tag. Also, I have noted that there is chalcopyrite on here as well. So we won't go looking for it now, except I do see it right there in the middle. Just go along with the fact that I spent a lot of research time ahead of time so that I could give you this information as I presented them. So take advantage. That is one of the big, beautiful rhodochrosites that I've got to feature for you. So let me just make this note here. Gorgeous. Now, I am going to come back to rhodochrosites because I have something to show you that you have never seen in this show. I have never had one to offer. This is also from the Founders Collection. It is item number 1288925. 1288925. And I tell you what, I couldn't believe it when I found it. Now, you have to understand that this has to be old stock, because there is, last I heard, there has been no more mining that has occurred in the Dominican Republic. Look at this. Look at the two colors together. Look at this. Larimar, Mother Nature, the blue, the rhodochrosite colors. Isn't that beautiful? Wouldn't that make an amazing piece of jewelry? Or you know what? Just use this to put that on for display, like on the top of it or something. How many slices of gem quality Larimar would this make if you have a diamond saw? And you know what? Just like Chuck, you know what Chuck did? Just like I suggest to everybody, if you get a regular diamond saw that is made for the lapidary field, it's a lot of money. But if you go to your local home store and get a tile saw, it has water feed. It is about 1/5 of the price and is every bit as functional, unless you're doing precision cutting or want an automatic feed, those kind of things. Yeah, get a tile saw. You can do work wonders with it. Now, I have saws that are really thin blades to save material, quality material like this, or like if you're cutting opal so you don't lose a lot of material. But for the most part, you can use a standard kind of width blade that covers all different materials, unless you get into the high end. Then the little adjustable feed, or the ones that have the speed control pedal, they're 4 inches. They're not that expensive. They're a couple $100, and you can cut really gem quality material. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, so I'm going to remove this and remove this. And I tell you what, have you ever seen a piece of Larimar in the rough? Look at this. If this was along the beach, which it's funny to see a picture of the mining activity for Larimar. It is the side of a volcanic cliff. It's a type of pectolite, and it is dotted with holes. Just all these holes that have been just dug into the hillside. But mining has ceased. There's a Larimar museum there, kind of thing, but all that has pretty much come to an end. There's just not been the material found. If you found that, if you saw that on the beach along the edge, what would you think? Just like agatized coral, you wouldn't think much. You think it's another rock. Cut it open and look at that. Look at that material. Anyway, 590 carats. That is part of the Founders Passion Collection, because all these years you haven't seen me come up with a piece of rough Larimar, but no, leave it to the founder and his stunning ability to source materials like he has over the years, and that's what you wind up with. This is only $118 and would cut many, many stones, easily worth that or more. Now, let's look at item number 1, 2, let me see if I can read that. 128 5925. 128 5925. Let me tell you, one thing the founder actually didn't have, I was kind of surprised in his collection, but this is something that I have only offered to a couple of times over all the years. So this is from my collection. It is ametrine. Look at this. Look at this ametrine. Now, I am going to pull this up, and I am going to, let me see, maybe even do away with that. And let's see, what do I need to do? Also, put this up against the back here, if you can follow me, to show, look at the yellow. We have yellow and the purple, as you know. Now, the amazing thing about this piece, it actually, there we go, if I move my hands out of the way, you can see the triangle shape. As I've always told you, it looks like a radiation symbol, which oddly enough, radiation originally is what helped create the alternating colors of yellow and purple. Ametrine, for amethyst and citrine, only found at the Nahi mine in Bolivia for the most part. And you can see, let me rotate this a little bit around. There we go, and move my shaded hands, actually. Let me do that, help it a little bit more. So you can see the citrine alternating with the amethyst. And in the world of ametrine specimens, that's a really good one. I have seen these pieces that haven't even been cut that they try to sell very expensively as ametrine, and they are. They'll have the two colors, but what they are missing is the alternating pie shape formation that is the most desirable form. So this came from a piece I cut up years ago. Some of you have gotten in on some of the other slices. And here, with only a few shows left, I thought, well, time to introduce one more. And I will even throw in a stand so you know I am going all out for you. There you go. Hey, right there. It looks better than it did how I did it. So, okay, a little rusty here. How about this? Price with the stand, and that matters. My goodness. So, that's one of these become things that get difficult to offer. I'll offer that for only $118. $118, and it would be difficult to find anything else like that. I've looked, and they're just, again, if you find it, it'll be like a big rough piece. It won't be sawed in slices. If there are slices, it only has the two colors. It doesn't have the alternating colors like that, etc. Anyway, you're going to get the stand with that one as well. Now, let me show you. I have next item 1250425. 1250425. And here is a neat treasure. Look at this. Look at this. Now, let me move the other out of the way. Oh, look at that. Okay, so what you have here is, and let me include the stand with that. And there's that one. Okay, look at the beautiful layers of the muscovite mica. So you see the 6 sides to the crystal. Remember, it's a phyllosilicate, meaning a leaf form silicate. It forms in layers. And if I isolated that, I could tell from these layers, because Georgia is full of muscovite mica. If you haven't found a big piece of mica that you can peel, well, just look around river banks and whatnot, you'll find one. All right, look at the aquamarine crystal here. Member of the beryl family, and you can see the hexagonal form to it. Has a nice natural light blue color, and if you look right through here in this corner, there is a surprise, because upon close inspection, it is actually, let me see if I can get to show you behind it. No, but you can see the clarity. It is a facettable grade stone right in there. Now, the other cool thing about this is it has garnet, it has albite feldspar, which is the white feldspar that you see, and they're actually nice crystals of it, and tantalite. Tantalite, yeah. This is not a shoral tourmaline. It is tantalite, which is a manganese aluminum silicate, and one form has tantalum and niobium in it, and columbite has iron in it, so a related member. And it's really difficult to tell which is which without high-tech equipment, but for the most part, tantalite covers it. So you have a wonderful collection of the classic minerals that are often found together in Gilgit, Pakistan. And this is a fantastic representation of them. And boy, I tell you what, there is lots to be explored on this piece that I haven't done so. So make sure you do your part and find all the goodies involved with it. I have this at a huge discount for you, making it, that's an aquamarine, but that's part of my collection, and I can make it whatever I want it to be. The original price I have on this was $178 worth every bit. I had discounted it to $148, didn't get any takers. Here we go, $88. $88. That just goes to show you, if you waited and gambled, it'll be to your favor. With only 4 shows left, you never know just how low we can go. Will you gamble to the next show? Well, remember this, you have to write down the item number, because by the time the next show comes, if you call in, they won't be in what's called on memo. So each show they'll keep for 2 or 3 weeks, and the item number will be good. After that, item may not have sold, but it won't be in the system. So they can probably tell you if it's sold or not if they say, well, we don't have that showing as available, and go from there. Better just to run and get it, don't wait. But if you are the one that want to gamble and wait and see if it's available a month from now, make sure you write down the item number, or else you'll never be able to get what you want. Okay, so as the clock ticks away, as far as each month goes by, you're going to see again goodies you haven't seen before. Item 128, 56, 25, I hope. Yep. Look at this. These were actually an oddity that came out a few years back when they were discovered in Mumbai, in the Mumbai quarries, and they are a hit now because look at how unique these are. And they have these stalactite type formations. As we look all the way to the top of the piece, you'll see that corkscrew part, and if I actually put a darker background behind it, it might help it show off a little better for you. So look at this neat corkscrew formation to it, and then look at the peach stilbites here. Look at the intersecting crystals of stilbite, and then of course the quartz, the Druzy quartz, continues its twisting and unusual formation of growth, which have really made these popular. Look at the stilbites, doubly terminated, points at both ends on those. This is one of those, you can, oh, I think it will set on itself, or maybe just a little goop, do a balancing act there. Wonderful, wonderful piece. There you go. Let me take that light off there. You can see it a little bit better. Beautiful item. And the price is right. Making this a special discount of down to only $38. $38. And a real attractive find for that. Okay, now, as I keep rolling here, item number 1285825. 1285825. Let me show you. And there's a reason I am starting with these. Here is a collection of ammonites. You're familiar with ammonites. Here is 2 beautiful pieces, and there is a lesson to these and why I put them together. Now, look at this. This is has some stunning, what would be referred to as the gem variety, ammonite, and you can see that wonderful red color in there. And then if you polish this off, you get down to what's known as the sutures, the suture layers here, which they can identify what species they are by these lines in the sutures. These are what divides up, when you cut these in half, those different chambers. Let me show you the other half. The other half, you can see, again, the organic gemstone called ammonite in portions of this, and then again going around here. Now this, if we sawed it in half, you would get the ones where they have the chambers, either full or with crystals. Now, this piece is one that has not been polished. So this, you can see it has a polished exterior to it. This, no polish. It has a beautiful natural ammonite color tone to the surface. This portion has been polished right down here, just to give you an idea of what lies beneath the surface. So this is a great educational piece as that spins around to the middle there. And I would normally not be selling those because I keep them for educational purposes. But I tell you what, right now, of course, with 4 shows to go, I am offering them both for only $28. $28. Now, that's a little lead in to something I'm going to feature that is not for sale this month, but will be next month. Let me show you. I had to do a little natural repair that is often done on these pieces. Here is a museum quality Madagascar ammonite. And I had to do some repair right in this area, which, of course, when you look at all these other lines, it makes it difficult to even tell.
Move the trash from around it.
Yep. Yeah, that's probably helpful. I was just so excited to show this piece. Look at that. Look at that. So this would normally be just jewelry quality, but this piece was able to be removed complete and whole. As you can see from the small ones I showed you, this is a very large one. They actually grew up to 6 feet in diameter, but they haven't found one of gem quality. These are found in Alberta, Canada, and are around 70 million years old, the blue being the most sought after and rarest color. Now let me show you. It's not just one-sided. Oh no. Look at this other side. That is stunning. Stunning and wonderfully rare. And all right, if you're interested, this is going to be a discounted price, specially priced. The founder, Frank, does have some in his collection that are over 18 inches across and exceed 6 figures in value and price. So I don't think I'll be bringing those to show you, but maybe in a live show somewhere down the line, you might get a chance. Okay, let me put this up and I'll be back in a moment. All right, yep, you didn't expect to see this one. Ocean jasper. Now, ocean jasper, oddly enough, the name, why it was given that name, is only because this material was found near the beach, near the ocean, and that's why. Other than that, it is so unique in its coloring that it can be recognized almost any given specimen. And so, you know, also the word jasper is widely used. It's, you know, it's a cryptocrystalline quartz. We'll leave it at that because this has one And this is part of the Founder's Passion collection. I literally took this piece right off of a shelf in what I call hollow ground. So, of course, I had to go out to his home, and it just felt very different. Someone I had known for so long, and to be in such a place and to be handling his collection, again, very complimented by that. Now, let me show you. Look at this. As we come in close on this, you're going to see what looks like maybe whatever is actually something really cool. Look at that. Druzy quartz in these pockets. Those little wonderful crystals you see reflecting out. Then, here is what ocean jasper is so known for. All these little dots of different coloring and the pastel colors, these unique formations. Spheres always cost more than any other type of manufactured, I want to say, or lapidary type of item, because versus a slab or anything, because there's a lot of material that's ground away that wouldn't be in making it into something else. Now, it's going to come with a stand. I like that white base. So if you don't like it, you can just put the white base on the bottom of the stand. Price on this one is exceptional. Ocean jasper is very collectible and in short supply. Only $138. $138 on that. An excellent piece. Oh, here. Could you make sure that goes in the box that it's supposed to be? All right, now, with that lead in, let me show you some other choices from the Founder's Passion collection. Item 128, 8725. 128, 8725. This will come with the stand as well. Take a look at this. All right, I showed you a sphere. This is one of the other forms that they cut ocean jasper into, and that is magnificent slabs because they are so gorgeous in the pattern. And then if you hit these pockets, you get the druzy crystals in these, and that is a plus. Look at those. Look at those starting to all reflect off the surface, and then look at the banding around them. And you know, when you look at these spherical formations, that's really one of the tells often of ocean jasper. Look at this. Look at it. It's just so unique. And when you look at the other side, you get a totally different look. Look at the side of it. It's even beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. Look at those pockets. This is a nice, hefty thickness. Beautiful, beautiful polish. Let me see. Yep. Full polish on both sides. And a outstanding opportunity price-wise for ocean jasper. I'm going to throw in the stand even on this one, making it only, you're not going to believe it, $97. $97. Next, item 128, 8825. 128, 8825. And this one is going to be similar. And in your full description, you may see where it says 2,000 carats, but this one is actually more. And that was when information that just carried over from this piece. This one, bigger. Look at this. So to compare the two, look at that. All right. Now, and the thickness, similar. This one might be even a little thicker. Now, look at the patterns in this. Look at the colors. And wow, 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 wow. Beautiful polish on both sides. This is, with this blending of the colors that you see, those reddish color tones. And then look at these little explosions. I'd like to know geologically exactly how that happens and occurs. This will, oh, look at that neat little pocket right there. Let's look at the other side then. Just magical, magical. That's why ocean jasper carries a huge premium in all of its forms. But right now, as part of the Founder's Passion collection, I took these right from, you know, where the founder, Frank Cercelli, had some of his finest specimens displayed. So I'm offering these. Grab them both because they would make a great end-on-end pair on your shelf somewhere. $98, same price. No, it's $97. Same price as the other one. $97. $97. And wow, that is a old-timey price indeed. Now, let me give you a little shock effect here by dropping back into item number 1287,625. 1287,625. We're going to go back to Alma, Colorado. Oh, yes, we are. Look at this. Look at this. And, you know, Mother Nature, you can't go wrong with Mother Nature being displayed on Mother Nature. Look at that. Look at that. Now, we'll remove that. Wow, that's a beauty. That is a beauty. Now, I have this actually on the rhodochrosites, but let's take a look at this in a couple of the different ways. There is a stand, so you are welcome to goop it up if you want, or hot glue, which seems to be used more often than I would have thought. Look at this. Okay, now here is what I was talking about, the famous pocket found in September of 1996 and given the name the Hedgehog Pocket from the Main Stope Drift. Now, when you look into the history and know what's what regarding the Sweet Home Mine, the Main Stope Drift is where, by way of quantity, most of the quality rhodochrosites were found. When they hit the Hedgehog Pocket, it produced a quantity of rhodochrosites that were intersected with quartz, hence a great name for that pocket, Hedgehog. A Hedgehog Pocket, because that's certainly what that specimen looks like. Look at the crystals. Look at the clarity and quality of them. And, I mean, there is not a bad viewpoint to this piece. We'll put it on and there as if it's displayed in a museum. Look at that. I mean, no matter what angle you turn this, it is exceptional. Exceptional. I mean, even like that. Look at that. I mean, you're hiding other quartz, but the way they come out like that, it looks like I could think of everything from photon torpedoes from out of Star Trek to, you know, to the other rock movie, other than the long trailer that I told you about to watch. We actually, Raven watched the other one with me the other day, and Miss Barbara is familiar with it as well. And it was about these giant monolith crystals that were growing from the soil. Anyway, I won't spoil it for you. If you watch the movie, you'll see something very similar to what you're looking at there. Anyway, I have more to show you. I get so excited. The label is going to, of course, come with it, and that is always a very important part of any real mineral purchase, because that's provenance and history to it. This piece, again, as beautiful as it is, I get to offer it to you as a pretty much as a thank you back from the founder, Frank Cercelli. And that's why I can offer this to you for only $348. $348. And these are world-class specimens, and they are from a mine that has been closed since 2004, and the other similar mine that was completely separate. No adits, no tunnels even connected the two, but now that has been closed since 2024. No more of these jewels are going to be coming out of those deposits. So take advantage of these while you have this opportunity. Now, the next one I'm going to show you, item number 1287-125. 1287-125. Every one of these are so exciting to feature and historic. You're talking about history here. Look at this. Look at this one. And this piece, again, from the Founder's Passion Collection, it was mined in 96 and it has calcite, chalcopyrite as well. Because it was hot glued down, I was not able to get a weight, but dimensions can be just as important. 25 by 13 by 12. The 25 now, remember from your earlier lesson I just told you a little bit ago, 25.4 millimeters to an inch. So basically 1 inch long. And in the world of rhodochrosite crystals, that's huge. Look at this. Look at this crystal emanating from, look at that. That is so cool. And look at these. You see these little crystals around there? Calcite crystals. And they fluoresce pink or pinkish orange. Yeah. So you have fluorescent calcite and all that information you need to write down if you get it, because I just didn't have all the room to put on the label. Then you also have on many of these chalcopyrite, or here's the way you can tell chalcopyrite. The chalcopyrite fluoresces. Yes, it actually fluoresces. So you will see little fluorescent dots within the rhodochrosite. And it only took a bunch of research for me to figure out what all was going on. And yes, that is one of the unique features, is fluorescent chalcopyrite. And so when you see that, you'll know what it is. And when you see in the metallic parts of it, you'll be able to tell what's chalcopyrite separate from tetrahedrite because of the fluorescent nature. Look at that. Incredibly well-formed rhombohedron, very euhedral in form and shape. And with the hot glue, you can just pop that off, but I didn't want to be the one to do it. But I can assure you, it can be easily done. And if you want to make it even easier, run it. Nah, don't run it under hot water because it might, a temperature change on the rhodochrosite. Just slowly start pulling it back. So this one I have, again, for this size crystal, it's going to be about, well, all of these are in, half the range or more of where they should be priced. This guy is only going to be $358. $358. So when it comes down to it, look at the color in that. And I'm not sure what color you're seeing at home, but into my eyes right now, this is red. It's not like a pink red. It is a beautiful, strong red. Yeah. Now, let me show you next. Here we go. Item 128-6825. 128-6825. And here is, so here's, compared to the other one for a moment, you get to see the two side by side, so you can see a big difference in size, and which matters a lot in this material. This should have been priced way higher than the price I made it. Now, this has a label, and it is from the Hedgehog Pocket, and therefore, not all of them always have quartz, but many times. So you can see the quartz crystals protruding from that. You can see the multiple other rhodochrosites to this. I see some chalcopyrite down there, it looks like. Beautiful piece. Many of these you're going to find are twinned. In other words, the crystals sharing the same faces. And don't forget to get your UV light out so you can look for chalcopyrite inside, and also little fluorite cubes that can be found with it as well. Look at that let me get my pointer here. Look at that crystal right there. That's not real obvious like that, but turned like that, and what a neat find that is. All right, price on this one, I said there'd be opportunities for everybody, price-wise, for no other reason except to give you a wonderful deal. I am pricing this one for only $178. Again, it should be many times that. By way of rarity and by way of not being in the market anymore, yeah, they absolutely command and bring substantial value. And those of you that have held on to yours that bought it any amount of time ago, well, you certainly can't buy them for what you paid for it then anymore, can you? Nope. This material, the rarity of it, just going up and up and up in price. Item 1286725. 1286725. Take a look now at this one. Okay, so look at that. I'm just going to move this one aside, but let you get to see the two for a moment. Now, in removing that, I'll give you that a moment to take a gander at. And now, look at, again, when I talk about twinning, this looks like a beautiful specimen for that, in that case. Look at that. These okay, I can see right now that this could absolutely be a facet grade. So my notes on this, it has orange fluorescent inclusions, which is the chalcopyrite. It also has some sphalerite, I believe, and you don't see those until you get out your tools, and everybody should have a UV ultraviolet black light by now. They're not expensive. Look at the quality. So this is what I want to show you. When you can see the well, it might be because of the double refraction, but you can. Well, it's obvious how translucent those are. So where you can see the black darkness behind it, you're seeing this. So, wow, you have exceptional quality. Remember, rhodochrosite can be completely opaque. And you look at the clarity you can see in this piece. Wow. This is a real beauty. And I have it priced. Yep. An opportunity for someone that wants in on a amazing piece for so much below the market. This would be another one for you. I am making this one. It is, again, from the hedgehog pocket. It should literally be $700 or $800. Many of these should be. I'm going to offer this in beautiful form. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the size of that. Make it only $288. $288. And with that, I got to take a breath. I'll be right back. Now that's a nugget, or however you might say that. Look at that. And you know what? I didn't believe it until I actually did some research on these. And here's the true story. Yes, this is genuine, and this is old material. Now, I got to look at close to probably 10 of these pieces. And some of what I would call maybe the newer generation of them might have had more doctoring done to them, because these older ones like this one, so you see this even color tone, you see this mixing of blues and patterns. Well, let me tell you, this is the real thing. This is, of course, these are well known out of China from this one particular mine, and I have it right there on the tag for you later, so you'll have that information. Here is what has been occurring for decades or a long time. They have been mining these, and wait, stick around in the months to come. You may see some, because will have maybe some available to offer, but in sizes 4 and 5 times this size. And beautiful natural formation to them. This is completely natural. Now, the surface, this light matte to semi-gloss finish, they'll often apply that polish with a wheel. So it's not one of Shawn's cheesy spray polishes. It's a real polish, and that they've done to it. But the shape is all natural. And why we haven't seen these previously so much is because in this community in China, they have been taking these for a long, long time, these big nuggets, and crushing them up, mixing them with resin, sometimes with plaster, sometimes with some dye. But in the end, they make beads out of them. They took these, of course, you know why? Because this is not functional. You can't make a piece of jewelry out of it. You could cut cabochons and cut it all up, but what they found as the best return on, I guess, their money for these pieces was to make these fake, basically, they're reconstituted turquoise beads. And they have done it for a long, long time. So not so much anymore. I think more are being recovered and offered as nuggets. So this is one straight out of the Founders Collection, and out of the other ones, I got to choose. This to me was the by far the most authentic. The others are authentic, but the most real looking. It is certainly spider web. Plenty of it in here, and has everything you want for a big turquoise nugget, including a price of only $288. $288 on that one. Grab it while you can. Item number 1286525. 1286525. And look at this. Look at this. Here's some of your last chances on this material. Remember, 4 shows. I may not ever show another Belky's Mountain andronite again. And, you know, I tell you what, no better, in all the years, no better map description has Asif ever created than the one that we made to show from 2019 to 2025, the difference that mining made on the mountain. It was minimal. You would have think, oh, all this damage, all this mining. No, they maybe advanced 30, 40 more feet down this one ledge, and there is nothing on the mountain growing. There's not a thing green. You could not use and hide behind a boulder. There's no boulders. It is a scree mountainside, scree meaning loose rock, and just rock. And somehow they discovered some of these amazing andronites, which are demantoid in wonderful colors. This one is, look at the calcite right there. Look at the big crystals right here. And I tell you what, and also the light green colors is diopside. So this is a wonderful specimen, and it's one that I can offer well, this is from Shawn's collection, so what's that worth? That's worth a discount, I think, right? How about this? $38. This is why you need to catch every one of these shows, and there's not going to be another $38 one. Look at that. Look at that. A demantoid garnet from Iran. And that's the key to the description, basically, and is the fact they're from Iran. And needless to say, very little can be gotten out of Iran. I have a special connection, and they never will put in the description of Iran. I've had everything from, they're from near Armenia. They're from a country close to Turkey. And then if the best you can hope for is they'll use the word Persia. Just like you're talking about turquoise. They would never say Iranian turquoise. No, it's a Persian turquoise. Yeah, because they know, of course, how the world stereotype or how they feel about Iranians. You know, I only care about the minerals. Just get me the minerals. And here is your chance at something uber rare from Belkis Mountain, Iran. All that will be in your description as well. So let me keep moving here. I have next. This is something that you're going to find pretty much nowhere else but this show at the moment. Take a look. I have a carving that was certainly a treasure to the founder, and certainly to me, after, you know, my son, currently stationed in Australia, my very good friends owned a chrysoprase mine that was written up in rock and gem. Let's look at item number 1288425. Whatever I said. 1288425. And this is actually from the same region as my friend's mine were, and maybe even the same mine. Take a look. This is beautiful, beautiful Australian chrysoprase. The finest chrysoprase in the world comes from Australia, and it's nice because this is removable. This is all carved from one solid piece of chrysoprase. Chrysoprase being kind of like the green carnelian. It's a cryptocrystalline, or basically a chalcedony quartz, so good and hard material. And this base, wonderful base of obsidian, carved to look like a wave, like the dolphins are riding a wave. At least that's my take on it. And the way I determined it to be obsidian, first I did a hardness test, but there is actually, if you look from this angle, I don't know if we can pick it up, but you actually see another mineral coming through the obsidian. But you can see some of the little other flakes that you can find in obsidian that gives it a kind of reflective sheen color. So that is, other than that, I was hoping for it to be Australian black jade, but didn't seem to be the case. But it was very similar in hardness, and might take another look at it, whoever gets this piece. It's got a strong weight to it. All right, price on this is what is exceptional. I have this for only $198. You know, Frank loved his carvings, and a lot of his other items reflect that. This is the only chrysoprase carving we found in the home. Let me show you another carving. Item 1285525. 1285525, and this is straight from Shawn's collection. And you know how much I love dragons and owls. This is a hard to get anymore at reasonable prices. The cost of nephrite jade out of British Columbia has gone crazy, and you know, I have close friends that have 4 claims there and had a lot of trouble with what they call the First Nations, who actually own the land. So that's like the Native Americans there. So they had to work a contract out with them to be able to get their claims going again. I hope they go well for them. So this is a wonderful item, and I have it priced at a discount. I've actually seen people see these claws, how well they're aligned. You can put something in them if you want, you know, attach something, even everything from a toothpick to whatever, you know, it's a fire-breathing dragon. Maybe put a match in there and you can light it. I don't know. Wackiness. Price $128. $128 on that guy. Now, I have one of this is a rarity, treasure. And if you like real rarities, wait till you see this next mineral specimen. Item 1285325. 1285325. I have been saving this for quite some time, and I have enjoyed it. And it's finally time, I think, to share this with one lucky collector, because I have never seen anything else ever like it before. So let me show you and then explain what's going on with this piece. As we come in close on this, you're going to see apatite crystals. Now, when we say fluorapatite, apatite has basically three types of apatite. What we call hydroxyl apatite, in other words, has OH molecule on the end. That is what our bones are made of. Our bones are actually made up of apatite. I've talked about that before. Hence, when you press on your bones, it does create an electric current like it does in apatite. The other type of apatite is chloroapatite, has chlorine associated with it. So most all apatite is actually fluoroapatite. You could actually leave the fluoro part off, but to be accurate like I am, I included it because that is the type of apatite this actually is. Now, you can see all these intergrown crystals, but what you're not seeing is the most magnificent part of this entire piece. They're hollow. They are hollow. And what the apatite has done, look at this one, it has grown around another crystal. Oftentimes, something like anhydrite, halite, a calcite, another mineral that is easily dissolved at low temperatures. Look at that. See how it's hollow all the way up there. And so it dissolved away what the apatite formed around, leaving these hollow tubular formations completely unique. It has a label, and you can see, and also the former, the provenance, the former collector that whose piece this came from in his collection, the Sapo mine. And it also then comes with a description I created that further explains it, and a rough valuation of it as well. So you can see the words hollow, cast, an excellent explanation for exactly how that formed. I have, this is once in a lifetime opportunity for someone to get in on something so unique and rare. This is from the Shawn collection, and again, the provenance from the previous owners as well. Only $238. $238, and that is a lot of information, history, rarity, and labels, the whole works, to get something that unique. And let me add one more amazing factor, and that is it's fluorescent. Much apatite is. Beautiful, beautiful orange, pinkish fluorescence to it. So, wow, yeah, that piece rocks. All right, now. Huh?
I said, I see what you did.
Neat piece. Neat, one-of-a-kind piece. Now, let's go to one of my other loves here, which maybe I'll go to it in a minute when I find the info for it. But let me first show you item number 128 5025. 128. 128 5025. And look at something you will not see very often. And that is the combination of the minerals you're seeing right here. Because what you're seeing is aquamarine, the natural greenish color, along with its counterpart morganite, which is the pinkish variety of beryl. And you can see roughly the hexagonal shape to the crystal that this looks like it cleaved or fractured off of. But what is amazing is how the morganite seems to have grown around the aquamarine, and look at the aquamarine, and I can tell you see those reflections in there. If I cut a cabochon out of this, it would most likely be a cat's eye. Then you also have additional crystallization up there of black tourmaline schorl. There's muscovite and feldspar on this. So you have your feldspar, most likely albite, maybe in the form of clevelandite if it is bladed. Ah, iris in the bottom.
I saw it for a second.
Extra bonuses
Just a little bit.
right there. Yep. Iris is in the bottom of that. Finding that extra bonuses. Look at that. There's something in there. And you can see the greenish color against the pink. If it was much stronger of a difference in the two, you'd be talking about adding zeros to the value of this. This is a protruding aqua from a morganite. That says a lot, especially for, ready, $78. $78. Find another one for that. You know, good luck finding anything even remotely similar. That's just a special piece I've had. Take advantage of it. Now let me show you item 1270525. 1270525. This is, again, remember, part of the Shawn collections. Involved 4 different minerals that I bought a lot of. Not meaning a lot, meaning quantity-wise, meaning a batch of. And they were triplite, which I haven't showed you many lately. Maybe we'll get into some triplite in quantity in the next few shows. Red zircon, sphene, and pink apatite. Right now, I am offering item 1270525, which is one of, look at that. Look at that. That's a huge crystal. And this is a chance to get a real beauty because you just don't find them that large. And it is almost complete. If this was actually complete, the value goes up extensively. So you have all kinds of mineralization here. You have biotite mica. You have, well, here's how you can find the zircons. They almost all fluoresce. So I have found little tiny zircon crystals dotted around other specimens only by using a blacklight. So if you don't have a blacklight yet, you need one. This is a wonderful representation, and without breaking the bank, because you know what? Look at the size of this. Look at that. And here is my ridiculously special price, $28. $28. Now, my pricing does not actually reflect the value of the items. From the rotochrosite across the board, the way I have priced these, it doesn't mean that that's actually what they are worth. They won't. They aren't. They are going to cost a lot more, and I always ask all of you to look, to verify. And of course, I always get back, from Barbara, who does extensive research, that truly everything from the zeolites, you name it. It's because I've owned all these items myself that you have bought over the last 8 years of this podcast. And I, at this point in my life, can price them any way I wish. And that is pretty much below any market value you'll ever find them at. And I need a new tooth. I need, I'm turning 65 in January, and, yeah. So help me out. Buy that for only, $28. You wouldn't be able to go wrong. No. Now, let me show you something snazzy. And I have loved this unique piece, and I don't know. I think sometimes the witchy raven casts spells on me and gets her way because she has loved this piece. But it needs to find a home. Let's look at item number 1285725. 1285725. So, you know, we trade around things. If I say, okay, if you want to keep this, then such and such, then you have to turn in something else. And other than that, she'd keep everything and we'd be broke. Okay, so first, start off with this. Look at this beautiful, this actually really neat piece of Brazilian agate. If you ever want to work with a really hard material, Brazilian agate, something like this, these nodules like this, not only are beautiful, but very dense and take a great polish. Look at the outside of that. You would never know. You would never know what it holds on the inside. So I thought, well, you know what? That's pretty cool. I'll use that for a base for something. Now, here is the main item. Look at this. Now, Raven said it's a ghost, and we have seen many other things in it. I think her ghost, I told her, what's this, a little baby ghost hanging onto a bigger ghost? She said yes, and pretty much she said yes to every other thought of mine. So this actually balances and sits on its own, but I'm not going to do that on basically live TV and have it fall off, but it does balance and sit on its own. But hold on, there's something cool. Let me turn my light off here. Let me show you. You didn't even see it, but with the simple pull of that little gizmo there, look at the lights. Can you just kill that one right there? Let me show you. It's truly there. Look at the light. This lights up. It makes thank you, sir, a wonderful night light or any other use you may want it for. Thank you. And you get the neat little gizmo light with it. So look at this. Look at this. So look at that. Isn't that neat? And it only goes on and off with just a tug of the string like that. I wish I had more of them like that. I would give away more. So I think actually what we discovered, there it is, right there. That's how it sits on its own. Ooh. And so any manifestations of animals you see would best be viewed from this point. Now the other neat thing is, hold on, let me see if I turn the light on, it kind of glows in a ethereal way. All right, now, enough of Shawn tripping. This piece, I don't understand why none of you have wanted it. I've added the agate to it, I've added the light to it, and this is the last time we're showing it. After that, it goes home and it becomes a Raven's. Now, don't not buy it just because you want Raven to have it. She has plenty of other goodies. I'm looking at her face and I think she's probably, what is that one finger you're holding up mean? Gee, I tell you what, she tries to send me these hand signals and I haven't figured that one out yet. Price on this, I'm dropping it. Just so it sells, $88. $88. No, really though, I need it too. And this is a great part of, I think, what a cool collectible item. And I haven't even talked about the unique hollow Reynolds County, Missouri specimen. So actually something again would have happened is something, the crystals grew around probably a calcite, and then under low temperature, the calcite is dissolved away and it leaves that hollow area where I put the cool light in there. Thinking I was going to be clever and someone would want it and like it, but I guess no one feels the same way that I do. All right, here you go, ma'am. If you can put that with the apatite. Here is the red zircon. And next we have, yeah, okay. Let's see. Oh, here, this goes to that turquoise. All right, as I clear off the desk in front of me, which is a monumental task in itself and making all this crumbly noise that's probably driving Austin nuts. Let's look at item number 1286325. Wow, this is neat. Okay, 1286325. Here is another chance at a zircon. at one of the red zircons, and look at this, and different size, but also look at the wonderful color to it, and you get to see the pyramidal shape. Now, zircons form often bipyramidal, so they look like base-to-base type crystals. You've seen them in the North Carolina ones. This one has a really rich color. You have biotite mica on here. This is going to be some of your last chances to get in on those specimens from Pakistan that I had gotten in on such a good deal. And, you know, it's really neat when I say Pakistan, because, you know, to the age of 5, Asif lived there. And, you know, one time, many years ago, we almost had it organized to where we could go to Pakistan and do some mineral hunting with my Pakistani mineral dealer. But politics changed, life changes, and didn't work out. But I always think, wow, what a neat thing to do to go to Pakistan and return to Asif's home country, which of course he left when he was very young. And, but it'd be neat. I'm looking at the shape of this. Can we go in any closer? Just a quick look at this. Okay. Oh no, the topaz parcel. No, it isn't. But we have those coming up. Let's look at item 128, 8225. Probably didn't miss it by much. All right, so you can see the both ends of the crystallization of that. And again, these will fluoresce. Let's see, 128, 8625. That's probably me not reading the number right. 128, 8625 probably gets us to the right one. 128. What am I doing wrong here? 128. Oh, it's me, Austin. I am so sorry. 128, 6225. That is absolutely me. There we go. Thank you, Chuck, and you're a sorry dog, Shawn. All right, there's another crystal there. And again, you can find them by using a UV light. Price on this guy, you're gonna love it. I have made it $28. $28, and it's one of those that go to a show and try to find something like that at that kind of bargain. Okay, now here's this. I'll let you pack that up. Okay, now what are we getting down to? Yeah. So since I saw one of those numbers, let me move this and this. Okay, here we go, and I'm going to go through these really quickly. Item 1284925, because there's some treasures in here, but they're going to get a quick explanation, because what you're getting ready to see is something I've never featured for you before, or actually had. I've kept it in my personal collection for a long time, because it's like, go find another one. How would you like? Look at this, a Herkimer quartz crystal. Herkimer, named after the town Herkimer, New York, where these are mostly found. It's an area of New York, though, including like the Ace of Diamonds mine. All right, look at the double termination of that, and why they call them diamonds. They're actually just quartz crystals, but what is so cool is what is on the inside, which is pyrobitumen. Another name, anthraxolite. I mean, that sounds kind of bad, doesn't it? But it's named after anthracite coal. And what you're looking at is actually about as crystalline of a pyrobitumen as you can get. It doesn't really form crystals, but boy, that looks like it. There is one, or it is formed in a big void. These are known to have anhydrous and to have three-phase inclusions. Look at that. I have never seen another Herkimer quartz with that large of pyrobitumen in it, ever. And I have seen the Tibetan material, I have seen this material. That is what I call one of those really unique collector type specimens that are really hard to come by. And so I have no idea how to even price it. I just know that $24 has to be a deal, because it's one of those, okay, go find another one. And there's just not going to be another one. So how do you price something like that? I don't know. But I do know this. You won't find another one. And this is in excellent, excellent shape. All the faces, everything about it. And you could spend a lot of time exploring that one stone. All right. Next, I have item number 1240. 420, okay, 1240, 424. 1240, 424. And these next items I'm going to, again, keep showing you quickly. I'm not going to take them out of the case. Look at this, because they're going to be so inexpensive. I have shown these to you before. I've taken them out before. We're not going to do it again. We're going to save the time. I'm just going to make the deal so inexpensive. Look at this. This is Tanzanian rhodolite. Now, if you need what I call educational stones, or stones to compare for your collection, you need to get in on every type of garnet, things like this. And besides, you can always use 2 as earrings or jewelry, and have 1 still for your reference stone. Now, the value on these, I've seen, they go for $30, $40 a carat. Not now, not this moment. How would you like all 3 of those, weighing a total of 4.70 carats, for, let's just make a number up, $6 a carat, $28. $28. $6 a carat, and that is, I think you guys know the value to that for you. All right, let me see. I had picks, but we're not going to show those. Let me get to these, and item number 1286325. 1286325. This is part of what I gave the wrong number for earlier. Look at these jewels. I mean, they look pretty cool in a diamond paper like that, don't they? I mean, we're talking diamonds here, huh? Look at those. Those are completely colorless, absolutely colorless white topaz. This is old stock from a long time ago. I'm talking about, I personally can date these back to the 70s. Not from my possession, but from the person I got them from. Actually from Helen, Georgia, a dealer, and active in the 70s, and these came out of his collection then. And remember, I've been buying collections in the States for years and years and years. 3 large clear topaz. Anymore, they take that material and they will, of course, turn it blue. That's natural color, what you are seeing right now. And wow, 30.60 carats at $2 a carat. That would be an amazing deal, right? Like $60. Well, how about this? I'm going to make it right now, $29. $29. That is less than $1 a carat. I'm going to let those sit there for just a moment, because I have another parcel, because I know those are going to sell. Item 1286425. 1286425. Sell these. Now remember, these are estate stones, so they might have a little nick or something on the edge or whatever. You can't complain. You can't complain. But really, they are in fantastic shape. I've kept them that way. And look at the size. These are the biggest of the ones I have left, and they are actually cut well. Look at that. Look how well cut that one is. And there are no inclusions in them. 28.90 carats. It sounds close enough to the same amount of money as the last one. $28. $28 for that parcel as well. Okay, so let you stare at the papers for a moment while I get the next item up here, which, does this say? Oh yeah, item 126 1225. 126 1225. You, it wouldn't be a show without having something from Graves Mountain, Georgia, our famous hometown, world-renowned site for dozens and dozens of minerals, and you've been able to get in on many of them from me because I have the Quartz King as a good friend, and he has personally dug incredible lucky amounts from Graves Mountain by way of rutile, by way of lazulite. Look at these crystals. Look at these crystals of lazulite and pyrophyllite. Now, some people call it pyrophyllite, others pyrophyllite. Either one is acceptable. Wonderful formations in classic form that you will see the lazulite in, and you can see that this is actually, as I look at this now, this entire piece is a crystal, and it looks like crystal on crystal, making it additionally. Oh yeah, that's why I have the note rare crystal cluster. Yeah, absolutely rare. I didn't even realize it. I was describing it the same way I described it the first time. It is absolutely rare. Absolutely rare. Because I guess I recognized it. It was lazulite on lazulite. Those type of formations you just do not find coming out of Graves Mountain. Here, I am going to make this one, and these specimens of lazulite sell for a lot of money. I'm going to make this one, though, affordable. And by affordable, that means that is only $48. Only $48 on that guy. Outstanding example of Georgia lazulite. And remember, the only other really lazulite you might see, and it's pretty decent, is the Yukon material, Rapid Creek, and crystals are small, but they're of a decent color. And other than that, there's just not that much in the world for that material. Now, I am going to feature a item that that I've enjoyed, and I am going to pass this on at the least I have ever offered it. Item 113-7823. 113-7823. Vanadinite. Morocco is really well known for incredible vanadinite specimens, and this is one of them. You can see the numerous vanadinite crystals covering this piece. You also have, you'd have to check, and that's up to someone else to do some homework on there. There can be mimetite found in the little crystals. Look at this. Look at this as we spin this around. Look at the size of these. This is crystallized almost on every side in one form or another. And wow, look at that. That's got a big story to tell. And a specimen like this would normally come with a big price as well. This displays well in multiple different angles. That works. Or the other side, this has also goethite in it, which is an iron oxide. You can see it's from the 4-man mine. And don't ask me how many people work at the 4-man mine. Yes, I've gotten that question. I think it's a wonderful name for a mine. Price on this is, if it doesn't sell at this price, I'll be aghast. I'll use aghast. And that is because I am making it only $98. $98. Never gonna be less than that. You're never gonna see it again. So if you're gonna buy it, you need to buy it from this show. All right, give me a moment. Let me put that up. I'll be right back. Okay, so of course, if I showed you Sweet Home rhodochrosites, I had to go to the other famous place in the world for rhodochrosite. Now, mind you, since the Sweet Homes, they've found amazing rhodochrosites in South Africa. China has amazing crystallized facet grade rhodochrosites. They are all a different color than the Sweet Home ones. And that is really what sets them apart, plus their rhombohedral crystal form. They're just by far the Colorado rhodochrosites. There is nothing else like them. Yes, there's beautiful other crystallized rhodochrosites from the other locations I told you, but when it comes down to preferential colors, and if you had them side by side, kind of equal quality, 9 out of 10 people will go for the Sweet Home look. And I agree, being familiar with them, including Peru. Peru has some amazing rhodochrosites. Again, color and crystal shape set them apart. Now, this is the Argentina material, which is forms completely different. Instead of, now, you can see on the surface, as we look here, this is actually a crystalline form of rhodochrosite. You can see the surface and those crystals of rhodochrosite on the surface. But mostly Argentina rhodochrosite is formed by way of deposition like a stalactite or stalagmite would form. And by doing so, you get, look at this, layers, a layered growth, whether it be the round stalactite formations, and when you saw them, you get those beautiful circular patterns, or if they form in a seam like this. Now, this, if you took a diamond saw along here, what you get are slabs of bacon. Absolutely, this is bacon rhodochrosite, and often very similar to color too, and it makes for wonderful cabochons, every bit of it. This is everything from a display piece to a cutting grade hunk of rhodochrosite. It has been polished all around the edge. It even has in Spanish, made in Argentina. And as we come around the back side, you can see it's polished here as well. And let me see, oftentimes you can find some pyrite banding associated with it as well. Look at how pretty that banding is. Alternating colors, some getting a little bit more, if they have a little bit more iron content, they'll turn a little bit more brown or tan, getting closer to siderite, which is the iron carbonate. You can also get some whiter, which can be more like calcite, the calcium carbonate. But rhodochrosite also is found in the different shades of color, just depending on exactly the makeup of it. Here is this side of it, which again, is beautiful in its own right, and you could, this could all be polished as well and bring up a nice surface polish. This is a heavyweight, very desirable collectible piece, and it can be featured or showcased. The stand will be included in multiple different fashions, however you may find is most attractive to showing off either the polish, the banding, or you know, even just laying it just like that. Look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And at a, this material, I can't tell you how much it has gone up in cost and price over the years. A lot of the material was recovered right before and basically scraped off and removed to get to the gold, very prolific gold deposit that was underneath it. So, so much for preserving any kind of stalactite, stalagmites. It was just a grab what you could get before you couldn't get it at all. And I think a lot of the dealers are working with material that was left over and that they have in stock. I think it's just a declining source anymore. This is old stock, and why I have it to offer to you, because it is from the founder's passion collection. The original founder of Gem Shopping Network, Frank Cercelli, 28 years ago, started this network, but prior to that, he loved his rocks and minerals and fossils. Way more into fossils than I ever realized. He has clusters of dinosaur eggs and other amazing things. So we'll see if we get to any of those down the road to offer to you. But in the meantime, this is really rare. $488. $488. A bargain opportunity. Now, what I'm going to show you next, I decided to sell. And it's something that I will regret, but so is so much more of everything I've had. Item 1262125. 1262125. I'm going to show everybody something they haven't seen. Now, you remember, one of my favorite things was to collect gemstones with inclusions. As a matter of fact, when I was young, my older brothers used to make fun of me because I got a trade magazine that had a centerfold in it. I'm talking about a 3-page centerfold that folded out. And while my older brothers were looking at some type of other different centerfold, they would make hilarious fun at me because the title of my fold out was Inclusion of the Month. I kid you not, Inclusion of the Month. And what it was high resolution and magnification pictures of different inclusions in gemstones. Well, I can't tell you how much enjoyment I got out of every month looking forward to Inclusion of the Month. And then I got older. Okay. And then I got older yet. And I'm back to absolutely loving the inclusions that are contained in gems, in specimens, and oftentimes you have to hunt for them. Let me show you, and hopefully we can look in this close enough to give you the view I want to show you. All right, here is, did I give you the item number on this? Okay, item 1262125. 1262125. And excuse my mess right here. And okay, I have a no heat sapphire. It's not certified, but how do I know it's no heat? Well, let me show you a couple of different ways on this particular one. So let's go in and let's see if we can do our little thing here, because I'll take the time to do it. Okay, so we have, there we go. All right, so you can see a little inclusion to the bottom right of that on the surface, but that's not what's important in this. I'm going to show you something that is phenomenal, actually, and that is, let me see, let me find, there we go. And let me get some light on that. And let's get as much, perfect. There you go, Chuck, you are on it. Okay, what you are seeing, if I can hold my hand steady there, you see that, and if I can turn this just right, that big dark inclusion at some angles, and at other angles, it will, let me actually set this. Okay. Gold. You see that? That is a crystal of pyrite. That is a pyrite inclusion that was intentionally left there by the cutter, because he could have cut the stone smaller and cut it out. If heat was applied to this, it would cause the inclusions in this stone to burst, to burn, or to leave internal, I guess, internal leftovers, so to speak, that are indicative of heating. This has one of the coolest pyrite inclusions in a sapphire I have ever seen. And wow, It is large, and it is showy. I love it. Now let me show you. Let me show you. Let's take you to the other side because there's something else to look at. And on this side, let's see. What you have, if you can't actually see it from the surface, is an inclusion that is concave. It's concave. It might be a calcite inclusion, but it is another inclusion right there that goes inward. And I'm not sure how they actually faceted around it and did that. And then you can see also, if I get the angle right below it, see that reflection? Right there you're seeing another possible pyrite inclusion that comes to the surface right up in that corner. You see it close enough, good enough, well enough to realize this is stunning. And this also has an amazing fluorescence, So if you want to have, sorry about that, if you want to have one of the most unique sapphires ever, here it is. Here it is. There's the pyrite. You can see the pyrite right there. It's the only one I've ever seen with a pyrite like that, which you can see right there. Perfect landing. Price on this is also, so how do you price something like this? I don't know, because it's really actually worth and much more rare than the price is going to reflect. But I'm going to give someone an opportunity if they appreciate what the things I appreciate. Here is, and it actually says Shawn's Rare Collector's Gem on the, let me just show you that, which I don't put on many of my descriptions. So price on this, $78. Only $78. And you will have a one-of-a-kind tree. All right, let me see how much time. Okay, I got a little time left, so we have time now. What I'm going to show you is, again, something really unique and different. Item 128 60 25. 128 60 25. And this is out of all the ones that when I was in Australia and when I was in Thailand buying gems and all, there just was not. You don't have it? Hold on, let me check. Let me verify it. It's probably me. Let me see. 128 60 25. Yep. Okay, let's see. Let's bring out the star in this guy. Let me move him out of the way. And this is a star sapphire. And with many of these star sapphires, they would be double stars, like 12-legged stars. Let me see what we have with this one, bringing the light in, right? How close can we get in on this? All the way in? Okay, well, you can see the stars, the legs here. Let me see my notes on this, because this is unique because it is actually green. It was mined in the 80s, and green star sapphires are quite an oddity. Let me show you the green in this real quick here. And, oh, well, I need to change the batteries now. All right, let's do it this way. Here, if you can follow me. And let's just bring this right here and bend this around. And hopefully we can see some green in it. And for sapphires, especially the party colors, the ones that come in with different colors, it's sometimes difficult to read the green or see it depending on the light, but you can certainly see the green and the yellow. and it certainly has a good star. This is one that I had gotten, and why I know when it was mined in the 80s. So price on this one, how about an opportunity for $28? $28. And that is a unique piece. It has actually a really good star. Take advantage of it. Now, I'm going to show you next item 1, 2, 6, 25, 25. And there is going to be all kinds of you out there wanting what I'm going to show you next. And wow, talk about rare. This is one of my last I saved of the peridot, crystal peridot, which is super rare. Most all peridot you find is freeform or found in formation that you see, which is kind of like a tumbled type of look because it formed in rhyolite, like the Arizona material. This is a crystalline form, which you just don't find until they came across the Pakistani deposit. And look behind, look at the clarity to that. Look at the clarity. So let me hold this, and this is where you will see, look at that. That is absolute facet grade. Now, the funny thing, a long time ago when I was buying these from a Pakistani dealer, he told me, he said, yes, they only have some rutile in them, rutile. And I said, rutile in peridot? I said, I don't know about that. I said, I think it's ludwigite. And he, with that, said, oh my. He said, you are the first, and he said the word, the first American that even came close, not only to pronouncing it right, but to knowing what it actually is. He goes, I tell everybody the inclusion is rutile because they know what rutile is. If I say ludwigite, they don't have any idea. And ludwigite is found as these little black, it just looks like schorl tourmaline crystals in it. There you see some little black crystals right there. And some have a lot of ludwigite in them. This just enough to be showy and to be able to say it has it, which I really like. Look at the rest of this peridot. Look at the clarity. This is actually a euhedral form, very well formed crystal for especially for the Pakistani peridot material. And wow, fantastic clarity. All right. Only one I believe I have left. I didn't actually know I had that one. 14.22 carats, real collectible piece. And I am pricing that one, only one I have for anybody, but take advantage of it. I'm making it in the world of peridot like that, very affordable at only $88. Only $88 on that one. And yeah, good deal. Now, let me see. I said I had some pricing on some rotos for everybody. Let me see about a couple more for you. Okay, let's look at item 128, 82, 25. 128, 82, 25. And let's see what we have. As I open up this diamond paper, let's see, we have some, this one has hubnerite, which is a really unique mineral. Look at that, look at that. Hubnerite is a manganese tungsten oxide. This has fluorescent orange chalcopyrite and some tetrahedrite in it as well. So this has got all kinds of extras going on with it. So tetrahedrite is a copper antimony sulfide. So the hubnerite, you'll probably have to get out your magnification for it to really identify it. But it is these black crystals, and it is the way they terminate at the end is how you can tell hubnerite. Look at the clarity and look at how well formed that Sweet Home rhodochrosite is. Again, from the founder's collection, his personal collection of Sweet Home items, and with the hubnerite in it. That out of all of the one, that's the only one I found, I think, with the unique and mineral known as hubnerite in it. So, and when you do the fluorescence, the little tiny orange dots are going to be fluorescent. $28. $28. I said I would have something for everybody, and I think that at $28 certainly is a price point for everybody. And just don't tell anyone that I offered it at that price. Now, let's look at item number 1288125. 1288125. And we'll take this one away. I'm going to put that here, and I'll let you, ma'am, put that up correctly. Okay, let's open the treasure here and see what we have. You see how well I wrap them, as anyone should. Look at this. Here we have a rhodochrosite and fluorite from Frank Cercelli, Founder's Passion Collection. Look at the extra crystal of fluorite right there. Look at how perfectly perched that is. And it's in a different crystal habit than you normally will see fluorite. Really neat piece. And it looks like there is also some, is that chalcopyrite with fluorescence? And this is from the Hedgehog Mine. That will be in your description on the tag, and as well as the Founder's Passion Collection as well. 1996, this was discovered. The Hedgehog Mine. Price on this piece is another opportunity for those of you that didn't think you could ever afford one. Well, I am making affordable as a gift back from the founder to those of you watching my show. If you're watching the live shows, you're not going to find those there. There's no one that knows how to describe them or tell you about these type of crystals. So this is the show to pick them up from. And I tell you what, pricing this one at only $58. $58 makes it, again, something for everyone, which I think Frank would want at this point to give back to all of you. Now, next, let me see here. I want to show you a breathtaker. Item number 128. Hold on, I better look at this. Those 8s and 6s. 1286625. 1286625. This is. Take a look. I think that speaks for itself. And what a beauty. What a beauty. This is from the tetrahedrite stope. It's fluorite on rhodochrosite. Hold on, let's see. Let me see this piece and make sure I get the info right. That's 62 carat, yep. 21 by 19, beautiful. Beautiful piece. look at the colors to this. Look at those colors. And look at the clarity. This is absolutely a piece that you could facet. And there they are. Look at that. There's those fluorites. Didn't think they were there. It's funny, you got to keep turning these things and you get kind of turned around because of the shape. Boom. Look at that. Look at that. I think this is one of the most attractive of them all. It is certainly one of the largest and one of the highest grade qualities. That would be a difficult one to decide whether you were going to try to cut a stone out of it or keep it like it is. Being the crystal lover that I am, I would always like to keep them like they are. But I have also faceted a 12 karat stunning one. If you remember back in the live shows, I showed it on air and showed the processes of as long as I cut it from a piece of rough, and it turned out magnificent, just magnificent. And I was fortunate. Many things can go wrong in cutting rhodochrosite because it has perfect cleavage in all three directions. 62.15 carats. This one I am pricing to someone that really will recognize just how inexpensive it is against the quality that that piece is, making this one only $578. $578, and that is, in the world of single crystals like that, a world-class specimen. Just a real bragging rights piece. And you can, if you're a cutter, when you're done enjoying it as a crystal, if you wanted it there and cut it, then you could. And without a doubt, if done correctly, you're going to be have a value far greater than what you paid as a crystal for it. And that is the way it usually runs. Is if you have the courage and the ability to facet a quality stone from one of these crystals, you can get a big return on the money. But lots can go wrong, and you could wind up with little tiny cubes of near valueless, well, not valueless, but certainly much less than if, So sometimes better to leave well enough alone. I have learned the hard way too many times. Okay, let me see what we have going here. All right, item number 1285425. 1285425. I'm going to show you something here, which we only have minutes left with you, but I want to look at it. Look at the difference in colors. Look at these colors. Mother Nature is amazing. If you want one of the neatest aquamarines you've ever seen, beautiful etching, Orongo material with the foytite. Remember foytite? Look it up. Don't have time to explain it, but it is a very unique type of tourmaline coming only from the Orongo area. It is a vacancy dominant tourmaline. Price on this one, $38. $38. That is an awesome opportunity for an educational piece. Let me show you real quick with the moment I have. Let me show you and try to get these item number 1286925, I think. 1286925. Look at this. Look at this. Here is a very exciting piece from the Founder's Passion Collection. The Hedgehog Pocket. The Hedgehog Pocket. And one of the ways you can tell is by all those quartz crystals looking like a hedgehog intersecting those magnificently formed rhombohedrals of, look at that, rhodochrosite. Look at that. That is stunning. And I have a price that is also stunning. $98. Only $98 on that one. And let me try to get one more in here for a price point for everybody like I had hoped to get. I will have some others that will feature. Here we go. Let's look at item 1287925. 1287925, and let's see what this brings us. And oh, what little treasure do we have? Oh, look at that. Look at that. Now, wow. Here we go. Beautiful rhombohedral. That is actually a facet grade level. So, and because of the crystal form, if you wanted to facet something, that would be okay. That would be okay. Price on this, I have. Look at this. You would not believe how much they'd be charging for something like this. Go look, go see for yourself. My price to you right now. This piece says it all as a thank you from Frank Cercelli for all the many years. So many of you have supported him, and his original passion of fossils and minerals and gems, crystals, have turned into what you see gem shopping is now. But it all started with humble beginnings, and that's Mother Earth. That's the rocks. That's the minerals. That's what we're doing here in this show, and that's my passion as well, and why I am offering this now, so that everyone can have a chance at a beautiful, beautiful specimen. And this piece, only $58. Only $58. And yeah, I think with that, that has to bring my show to an end for this month. But what a great piece to end on. With that piece, it says it all. You know, the price point relative to the value, that's what gem shopping has always been about, along with the education that allows you to make those wise decisions and to realize that the price I put on that rhodochrosite is so far below the market. But that's me kind of acting on Frank's behalf and giving back to all of you in a very special piece from the United States. And I, for him, thank all of you for all your support to Gem Shopping Network, because we want you to be the educated person that you have become, and for you to appreciate and realize the value that gem shopping brings to you, and the education as well, because this show was always about taking the gems that you love and showing you what they look like from the ground up. From the ground up to the finished, beautiful pieces that you get to see in the other shows. With that said, I have enjoyed spending this time with all of you. Wait till you see next month's show. It's just going to get better and better. God bless all of you. Thank you so much once again. And I hope and pray that all of you will be with me. Ask your friends and neighbors, everybody, to join me in next month's show and the ones through the end of the year. Cheers. Love you all. Thank you all. See you in a month.